Hello.
Hey, how are you this evening?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Glad to hear it.
We have a little bit of either lag or overlap. I can't tell which it is, but
Or I'm just doing it on purpose.
that's possible. That's possible.
Possible.
So we just finished Women's Month, and I think it's very timely because you've got a story about a very strong woman tonight, right?
Yes. Yes, I do. So, as we learned last week, the Romans have decided to reinvade Britain. Now, during the initial Roman invasion, a Britannic tribe in the east of the island, the Iceni, allied with the Romans, it kind of as a means of securing protection. They paid tribute, but they got to be ruled by their own kings because they kind of saw where things were headed. This arrangement lasted for about 20 years when the Iceni king died. With no apparent heirs, the Roman legions marched and seized his territory. This seizure of territory already compounded a pretty brutal rule that the Romans had instilled in Britain for these 20 years, as well as conscripting young British men into the Roman auxiliaries. So that was enough for the king's widow, Queen Boudica, to protest against this treatment. But in return, she was publicly flogged and her daughters were assaulted. That was the final straw for her. Furious at this humiliation and wishing to force the Romans off their lands, Boudica raised her people to war in the year 60 AD. They were quickly joined by their neighbors to the south, the Trinovantes. Now, the governor of Britain at the time, the Roman governor, was Gaius Suetonius Paulinus, but he was away campaigning in the west, in what is now modern-day Wales, when all this went down. Iceni troops quickly marched to the south to the Roman military colony of Camalodunum. Camalodunum was an administrative colony, and it was not protected by walls, so it was quickly overwhelmed and sacked and burned to the ground by the British barbarians. And they spared no one. They slaughtered everybody they could get their hands on in the town. They quickly moved over to the next town of Londinium, and by this time, Paulinus had received word of what has happened and had force marched his men east to put a stop to this. He rode ahead with some cavalry units and had actually reached Londinium before Boudica had, but realizing he did not have the forces to stand against this barbarian horde, they retreated down an ancient road called the Watling Street. The ancient road that crossed Britain that the Romans eventually wound up paving and using during their own occupation. I think the road still exists to this day. So Boudica and her forces sacked Londinium, same as before, burned it to the ground, spared no one, and then they marched on to a third town, Verilium. That place also got torched and its people slaughtered. This was enough time for Paulinus to gather his forces and pick a spot for the battle. So far up on Watling Street, he attempted to draw Boudica as far west as possible, giving his forces time to rest, while the barbarian forces spent their energy trying to catch up with the Roman legions. The field on which they would fight was heavily in the Roman legions' favor. They formed up on a hill flanked by forests to either side and a thick forest behind them, so there was no way they could be flanked by the barbarians. Now, this was a bit of a double-edged sword because if they could not stand, they had nowhere to retreat, so this was an all-or-nothing ploy by the Romans. Now, no one knows exactly where in Middle England this battle takes place, but we do know it is somewhere along this ancient road. Paulinus has about 11,000 soldiers at his disposal, consisting of roughly 7,000 disciplined heavy infantry and about 4,000 additional auxilia and conscripted cavalry. They faced a horde that could have numbered as many as 200,000 Celtic screamers, but most people believe that number is a bit exaggerated. It was probably 1/5 of that amount, still outnumbering the Roman forces. As the rebel forces approached Paulinus's contingent, he arrayed his forces along the narrow pass, with his legions serving as the core strength of his army in the center, with 3 auxilia on either side, and one wing of cavalry on either side. Both sides hurled insults at each other, and the Britons started things off by attacking with their light chariots. Their light chariots ran up and down the Roman lines, hurling insults and spears, which did minimal damage and probably bruised a few egos, but that was when the Britons attacked in mass. Their entire forces surged forward, uphill, through the narrowing gap towards the Roman lines. As they charged, because the gap narrowed, they could not bring as many forces to bear as they were charging. This gave the Romans time to react. So they reacted by throwing a hail of pila spears, which, since the Britons are lightly armored, just cut right through them. Then the heavily armored forces formed a wedge and marched forward and smashed into the British lines. With that initial charge blunted, the Britons began to fall back towards their wagon train. They had brought their entire wagon train with them, including women, children, the infirm. All were watching because Boudica thought that this would inspire her men to fight for their families. This means they had no way to retreat as these wagons blocked their retreat. The Romans eventually butchered all the women, children, and infirm as well. There are no heroes in this fight. Both sides did unspeakable atrocities to the other. We don't really know how many perished. Probably about 80,000 Britons maybe died on the battlefield, as opposed to only about 400 Romans. Boudica does escape this battle on her chariot, but a few days later she either takes her own life or she succumbs to illness. No one knows quite how she dies. And of course, the Romans show no mercy to the Iceni and the Trinovantes, and they utterly annihilate their populations. Britannia is now solidified as a Roman province, and it's only going to gain its freedom from Rome in the early 5th century, just before Rome's final collapse. So that is where we are tonight. Why don't you tell us how we're going to use our wagon trains in this battle?
Certainly. I am opening up the War Council. Tonight, it will start with me on the Britain side, and I will have 4 command cards and 1 leader only. As you were saying that whole story, I was scanning the battlefield, and 3 leaders to 1. This is an exceptionally uphill, no pun intended, battle for Boudica. So I will get to go first as the Britons. Peter will take the Romans first. He will have Gaius Suetonius Paulinus and 6 command cards at his disposal. This is an 8-banner slog tonight. Wow, we haven't seen one of these in at least a month. He will have the Julian legions, of course, because he's got the red Marian blocks, so he gets to either move and attack, and he still, or he can move 2 spaces and not attack, and he also gets the 2 hex range for a Pila throw, Pilum. Peter pointed out we have the wagon train way up at the top. These are a little different than the wagon trains that we saw a couple of scenarios ago. Tonight they are simply acting as an impediment to simulate the impassable area that all of the British fighters were trying to get by with all of the women, children, and infirm, and of course all of their baggage. So those are just blocks there. Nobody can go into those hexes. They are simply a fence. So let's review the terrain rules specifically for forests because they are quite prevalent tonight. In forests, all units have to stop when they enter a forest. The only units that may battle after entering a forest are the light foot units. Can do that. And warriors, they can also battle because they're crazy when they enter that. You battle into or out of a forest with 2 dice in close combat, and ranged combat is for units that are inside of a forest. Those ranged shots are capped at 1 die, and it of course does block line of sight. So we've got hills there, of course. If I should be foolish enough to attempt to do that, I don't know that I will. I don't like the idea of 2 dice uphill for some of those warriors. It's bad enough not having leadership, but this is just This is truly a rabble, as you said. They're just there's no cohesion. They're all over the place, and I don't know how I'm going to do this with 4 cards, but we shall see.
This is a massacre. So it's I think the point here tonight is to try to minimize
Right,
your
right.
losses.
I mean, even having the battle chariots way up there, they can't do anything. You got to make a path for them to get out. So
Yep.
that's going to take time and effort. But I will draw my 4 cards first. 4, I've got them.
Right.
It's kind of neat to know that Boudica burned Roman London to the ground. Right there, I was looking it up as you were reading about Londinium, and that is the seat of Rome in the British Isles. So it's a small part right up against the Thames, several blocks worth of what is Greater Metropolitan London now. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, the regent or governor or whoever was in charge of Londinium, they had actually told him what was coming, and he only sent like 400 slaves to the first town to help defend because he didn't really think it was a big deal until he heard what had happened, and then he realized he was in over his head and
This is fine.
fled.
This is all fine. All
All
right.
right, I have my 6 cards. I will wish you good luck because I have a feeling you're going to need
Oh,
it.
boy howdy. Boy howdy. All right, so here we go. Let's start with move, fire, move, because that is probably all I can use at the moment. I'll get these 4. All right, for my initial move, I think I'll take them there. I'll go there. Okay. And we are going to do some pelting. What do we do here? Let's start with... We'll throw at your heavy legions there. So we'll get 1 die. Nothing. I have a feeling it's going to be like that all the way. Let's try this again. 1 die. Hey, there's a hit. Let's check that Centurion. He's fine.
Or will you cast your attentions on the other side of the battlefield?
I think might as well go with the medium here. So 1 die at them. Nothing. And 1 more die at them. Nothing. Okay. Now for the second part of this move, we're going to go into the woods. And into the woods there. And they're going to go 1, 2, 3 to there. All right. Over to you.
Over to me. Wow. I'm going to inspire my left flank after that stunning assault. Leader and 4 adjacent linked hexes. All of them. Of course, now my bowmen really have no target, do they? Okay. I'll take a pot shot at Auxilia. They're well supported.
Indeed.
Auxilia attacking Auxilia in the woods, so I'm limited to 2 dice, right?
That's right.
You get to ignore anything?
No.
Okay, so here we go. 2 dice, but with leader support. 2 hits.
Brutal. We'll give you 2 dice back. Nothing.
Okay. These mediums will attempt to finish them off. Limited to 2 dice again.
Ugh. I'll do 2 on the right. bring out some of this flexibility here. 2 dice against your light bow with leader support. Getting a hit.
Okay, and 2 dice back. A retreat.
1, 2, and 2 hits. Well, I should have thought that better. Now we'll do Boudica against the mediums there with 3 dice plus leader bonus.
Ooh.
2 hits.
Attacking back with 4 dice. So you get to ignore the sword, right?
I do.
So that's just 1 leader hit.
1 leader hit. Okay.
Her. And she's fine.
All right.
3 on the left. Those 3. Could do it is if I do that. Fortunately. Okay, going after that light cav with 3 dice.
Okay.
Going after your chariot with 3 dice.
They will evade that. Oh. There we go.
Still 1 hit. For your leader. She's fine. And then 2 dice into the woods. Nothing.
And 2 back out.
Oh, I guess I should have asked you if you wanted to evade or not.
That's all right. Yeah. Nothing.
All right. If I've left that centurion in a far too precarious position.
Do a coordinated attack.
Ooh, something tells me I might have. There you go. That's exactly what I was going to do. Ooh, rough. All right, I asked for it.
Let's see what happens here. 4 dice. Coming at you with leader bonus. That figures. That figures.
All right, 3 dice back.
Nothing.
Nothing.
All right.
You can ignore that flag at full strength.
Dude.
All right.
And then Boudica now 2 dice at your medium cavalry plus leader bonus. Just getting a hit.
All you need.
No. Let's see. Leader check. They're fine.
All right, and 3 dice back.
Ah.
There goes the chariot. And your leader. She's fine.
All right.
Okay. Well. Gonna play this card to get him out of harm's way. Okay. Going after your warriors with 3 dice with leader support. Oh, I got a Patrick.
Ouch, ouch, ouch. All right, I get to ignore 1. Second one is 2 dice, or 2 retreats, so 1 and 2, and then the third one is 3 and 4. Wow.
Oh. I got a Patrick roll. All right, I have to follow up with that.
Sure.
3 more dice.
Yeah, well, you gotta exploit that while you can.
Wow. Ouch. I'm sorry.
No. I'm actually curious to see how lopsided this one can be. Or if I
Yeah, I'm
have.
not
Yeah.
looking. I am not looking forward to playing the other side on this.
Okay. Well, then I can do. I could do this now. So do 4 on the right.
Hmm.
That's 4. This instead. There we go. 1, 2. There we go. Let's start with Biggie here first. Do 4 dice plus leader. 2 hits.
3 dice back. 2 hits.
Wow. Check that leader. Alright. Now we'll do this one. It's going to be 3 dice plus leader. Got it. And comes in. Does a follow-up attack. 3 dice plus leader. I got him. Just leader check. He's fine. And then do this one here. Gets them. It's just 3 dice straight up. Just a hit.
4 dice back. 2 hits.
3.
Oh, 3, yes.
2, 3. This is a bloodbath. Alright.
Thought they were-
And then against your light bow, what would they like to do?
Evade away.
Okay, so 3 dice looking for green circles. Getting 1. Alright.
All right. I think I'm going to counterattack.
I figured when you hesitated that you didn't have a left card, but you do have a left card.
I do have a left card. I just want to squeeze as much out of that medium unit before he dies.
Yeah.
So I only have 3 units on the left to activate, so I will activate them now. Move into the woods. They will take to the hill. They will attack that auxilia. 4 dice.
That'll get him.
And I can attack moving into the woods since I'm a light unit, right?
Right, and I'm going to evade that.
Okay. So 2 dice.
You're on fire tonight.
And a hail of arrows at your chariot.
Plink.
Nothing.
I will do 2 in the center. Let's see if we can draw out that first strike card.
I wish.
Right, it's 3 dice now, plus leader bonus. Just ever so barely. Advance and battle again into the woods there with 2 dice plus leader. Getting a retreat.
Retreat that way. Retreat 1 or 2.
And they retreat 1.
Yeah.
And that was already my first follow-up, so I am not going to follow up again. And then we'll go after these guys. What would they like to do?
I'll stand on the hill.
Okay, so I have 2 dice uphill with Boudica support. And we send them packing with 1 injury. They will not advance.
Okay. I'll activate 4 in the center. 4. I'll go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2.
Yeah, I thought that might possibly happen.
So the only unit that can attack is this one. What would that chariot like to do?
They will evade.
So here we go with 4 dice. Ooh.
Let's do 2 in the center. For Boudica! 4 dice. Getting a retreat.
Okay, so they would retreat 1. So I guess since they're hemmed in, they get to
Battle
attack back.
I do.
4 dice. And a retreat that you can ignore.
I shall. Okay. Now, these guys, 4 dice. Man. What are these
One with a
warriors?
great roll against another target, but
Yeah.
not against these mediums. 4 dice back. There are no streaks in the vassal dice roller. 1 hit.
So 1 hit. All right. But I will take the banner. Okay. That is unfortunate.
Leadership any section. Goes 4. Okay. Attacking the chariot with 4 dice. Word for it to evade 2. 4 dice with leader support.
Well, that'll do it.
Weird rolls tonight. Going after those warriors with 4 dice. Boudica. She lives. 5 dice against those warriors. 3.
Okay. I get 4 back. Ooh.
Ho.
There they are. Okay. Here's a leader check. He's fine.
And the mediums will attempt to finish them off with 4 dice.
Yep. By 1. Wow, that is rough. That is a rough scenario.
Yeah.
It would have been fine if you didn't have the counterattack on my 4. I mean, I could have worked with it. But when you hesitated, I got really excited. It's like, okay, he is bereft of left cards now. And then you were agonizing over whether that was the moment to use it. And yes, that was the moment to use it. And then you just knocked out 3 in 1 activation there. So very, very good.
Thanks.
All right.
This is rough. I don't look forward to switching sides.
Well, my hope is that it is lopsided in favor of the Romans and that you and I will both do equally well. So officially this one is 8-3 for you. Let's see if I can do as well after we return in just a few minutes. We are back with round number 2, and it is now my turn for some reckoning. Wah ha ha ha.
Have my 4 cards.
I have my 6 cards. And,
I'm not going to even wish you luck, because you don't need it playing
yeah,
the Romans.
good luck for you.
All right. 2 in the center. Okay, and a handful of situational cards. I'm sure you have a smorgasbord of options.
I do. I'm going to start with the same card again. Move, fire, move.
Okay.
4. I only have 4 light units, however.
Yep.
So
You have to move your bowman if you don't want to.
I don't. So these guys will go 2. And these guys will go... Now we'll do some firing here. We'll shoot at... you know, they're protected, so we'll just go for the warriors here. 2 dice. Should have gone with my first instinct. I never trust my instincts. 2 dice there. Still nothing. Okay. And then second move, they're going to go there. And they'll stay there. And that is all.
Or 2 units on the left. They will attack your auxilia
Okay.
with 2 dice.
Oh, come on. Gotta be kidding me, man. Alright, 2 back. Oh, there's a hit.
Okay, 2 dice from this auxilia.
A hit and a retreat.
The auxilia will advance. I can see that very often. I have limited options.
Do 3 on the right. We'll shoot at the light cavalry. 2 dice. Nothing.
Oh!
No,
I support it.
Yeah. Alright. Go with this one first. 2 dice into the auxilia with leader support. Nothing.
2 dice back out of the woods.
The dice absolutely hate me tonight.
I got nothing.
I know, but I'm getting nothing. And that's a continuous theme tonight. Alright, 2 dice from them against the auxilia. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to attack because you'll get the hit and I will eliminate a block myself. So, you know what? I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to play this game. This silly giving a block away stuff. You want it, you get it.
Okay.
I'm just tired of the dice roller.
All right.
I'm cranky. I'm curmudgeonly.
3 on the left. And that auxilia with 2 dice. So they will.
You're gonna have to come down
again.
here, Khan. You're gonna have to come down here.
All right. One more shot out of the woods. 2 dice. Come on. Two dice on those heavies. Ooh.
Unbelievable. All right.
Your check. 9.
2 back with leader. Nothing. Man. It's... All right.
Ooh.
We'll activate those 2. He'll go there.
Okay.
And he'll go there. These heavies are going to threaten your light cavalry. What would they like to do?
We'll evade.
Okay. So here's 5 dice. I would like green circles, please. I will get no green circles. Okay. That is the end of that order. So come on out, warriors. Come get some.
Okay. Actually, yeah, we'll just. We'll attack with the light infantry first. 2 dice. Nothing.
Okay. 5 back with leader. 2 hits and a retreat.
All right, warriors. 4 dice. Here you go.
Well, I must take 1.
Other warriors yell in impotent rage.
So you can advance in battle again with them.
Oh, I guess suppose I can. Press my luck. 4 dice again.
This time, they will stand their ground and give back 5 dice plus leader. 1 hit, and 1 retreat you must take. Time for a mounted charge, I think.
Good time for that.
Alright, start with this one. We're going to get 4 dice plus leader bonus. 2 hits.
4 dice back this time.
2 hits. Okay.
And a retreat.
I can ignore that retreat. I am supported. Yeah, I better take the retreat. Keep a path open. You never know. Okay, so 4 dice plus leader bonus again. Take him this time. Advance. Move 1. Go after them. With 4 dice once again. Just a hit.
dice back. Hit.
And on this side over here, we got 4 dice plus leader bonus.
Ooh.
Send them packing.
All right. So they ignore the first flag. They take 1. They take 2 flags. So that's 1 retreat, 2 retreat.
They will advance, move 1, battle against these lights with 4 dice plus leader. 2 hits and a double retreat.
Wipe them out.
Okay.
That was the best time to try this. All those units. We'll start over here with this Auxilia. Targeting your Auxilia. So normally they'd be capped at 2. With Clash of Shields, it makes it 4. Correct?
That is correct.
All right, here you go. 4 dice against that Auxilia in the woods. 2 hits. And a retreat. 5 dice from that Auxilia on the cavalry.
We will evade that. Great evade.
4 dice against the heavies. And Centurion.
Oh,
Falls.
man.
I'll take it.
Okay. So if I don't let you get any more blocks, I can actually pull this out. Or even 1 for the tie. Okay.
Gotta stop rolling these flags.
Alright. We'll activate our mediums. Is there a way? I think there's a way. Let's see. Alright, let's see here. Let's start with this.
What about those 2 units in the bottom that you have highlighted?
Right. Yes. He's going this way, and then he's going to there.
Smarter.
Alright. Alright. So we'll do this one here.
That one horsey was a juicy target for my war.
I know he was.
They had to burst out of the woods, hurling their insults.
Alright, so here's 3 dice against your Auxilia. 2 hits, of course. Go ahead and roll that flag.
3 dice back.
There it is. Didn't matter. Alright, so... Man alive. Just could not get a break tonight. Alright. Let's go with that. Actually, let's go with that one. So here's 3 dice plus leader.
Three dice back.
Okay. Let's try to finish him. See if we can finish another A block. 3 dice plus leader. He gets it.
There you go.
He's going to advance, move 1, go after them. 3 dice plus leader. 2 hits.
Nothing.
We have a P. They move 2, so can't do anything. Move 2. Okay, that is all.
Outflanked. Those 4 units. One. Three dice with leader.
Okay, we'll evade.
Get into the woods.
Everything you roll tonight has been gold.
Not everything.
Oh, man. Comparatively,
Into the woods.
yes.
Advancing in the woods and attacking the warriors. Or the mediums. The warriors. 2 dice.
Do leadership any section. Centurion grows weary of this slapping and tickling. Do 4 dice plus leader into Auxilia. I'm actually getting superstitious of this keyboard, so I'm going to come up here and click the button. And get 3 hits. Because that's how superstition works.
3 dice back of leader bonus. 1 hit.
We'll attempt to finish. 3 dice plus leader. Just barely. Advance in. Attack this one with 3 dice plus leader.
Got it.
And cannot advance. He can advance, but he cannot move a second one. So we'll just stay there. This one, he's going to battle your Auxilia.
Okay.
With 2 dice. Ooh.
Ooh. Me?
Spicy.
2 dice back.
Take the retreat.
Smart.
Now, if I'm reading my opponent, which I'd like to think I have a decent capability of doing, the fact that you didn't just slap a center card down right now says you probably don't have a center card. And
No,
you don't have any leadership there. But you
I
do
don't have a center card.
But you do have some other things.
I do. Like this.
That is pretty good. So that still achieves what I was afraid you could do. Walked right into that.
Okay. Start with the warriors. They'll attack with 4 dice and leader support from Boudica. Two hits.
They hold. Check that leader.
Fine.
Give you 3 back with leader. 2 hits.
Attack by Barbarian Chariot at full strength. So 3 dice. And your Centurion lives. She will momentum advance and battle again against your mediums. 3 dice. leader. Close.
4 back with leader. 2 hits. Here's a check on Boudica. Close.
This chariot will attack those mediums as well. 3 dice. 1. And your centurion. Close again.
4 back with leader. Just 1.
Right. Light cavalry. 2 dice. With leader support.
Game would be great if I could roll a symbol that I needed.
And your centurion lives. Advance. Do I have to go to +1, or can I just advance?
No, you can just advance in battle. Yep.
All right. Going after that auxilia. 2 dice with leader support. Ooh.
There's 3 back with leader. 2 hits.
The auxilia attacking out of the woods with 2 dice.
2 back with leader. Wake up.
Ow. Keeping it tight.
Mm-hmm. Two on the left. Let's see what happens here first. Let's do this. Let's see what we get against these battle chariots. So 3 dice plus leader bonus.
Ooh.
And then advance and
Have to.
yeah, and we'll battle against Boudica. So what would she like to do?
Evade.
Okay, so here's 3 dice. Green circles only. Got 1.
Well done.
Wow. Wow. That is definitely a Pyrrhic victory. I mean, just... You took the knight, clearly, but that one was unexpected. Because you were just taking me apart piece by piece, and the dice were no friend of mine tonight. I'm actually in agony after this one. It hurts. Just from the historical perspective of it. Like you said, there are no heroes in this. It is just a massacre on both sides. But this was just aggravating.
I was lined up too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All the right cards.
Yeah. I had a counterattack, 2 centers, a left, I had 1 left remaining. So this was it. I wasn't sure whether I should do the 2 on the left or a counterattack of your inspired on that side. But at least I had the bowman just in case. Let's see. Let's just take a shot. Because let's see if they would have hit. 2 dice, they would have hit. So everyone was zoomed in. So
And you never rolled for your leader check there.
oh, that's true. So hang on. Boudica would have fallen. Wow.
There you go. Look
man.
at that. Look at that.
Yeah.
Racking them up.
All right. So final score tonight. Peter got 6 in this one. So you had 14 for the night. I had 11. So you take it by 3. That's the big winner. What do you think of this scenario?
I got lucky with my cards and my dice, but this is very lopsided. This is not a fun scenario. Certainly, it's a strategic puzzle for the Britain player, just because of the haphazard way your guys are laid out. You really can't bring your one leader to bear. Obviously, making good use of the forest is imperative.
Right.
No sense of doing the historical charge up the middle because you're going uphill. This is rough. It's rough, and it's rough with 4 cards.
It's rough with 4 cards, and I will speak to that because and I may be misremembering this, but you can rewind this back to see. Obviously, I have complained all night about the dice, but I think there is some anecdotal information there because on 2 occasions I had incredible attacks with warriors where I was cutting you off, I was backing you up, just all of that, and I was bringing at least 2 or 3 warriors in with full complements, 4 dice, and I was just whiffing or doing minimal damage. So I think that first game would have been a lot closer if I just rolled better. But how does one roll better on digital dice? So I hate for it to come down to me just being sour grapes on that. But I was like, yeah, I don't think I did anything wrong as Boudica. I brought her out. I moved forces into the woods. I tried to use the terrain to the advantage. It was really aggravating. I was like, oh wow, he left an opening here. I'm gonna swarm, and then it was just nothing, nothing, nothing. So, eh, that is the nature of the dice game. I just sometimes curse my dice luck to the heavens, but no one hears it.
I mean, I certainly took risks with the Romans, thinking, well, he's only got 4 cards, so I can try and get a little risky here, hoping that you won't have a card to counter this or
Well,
take advantage of an exposed unit.
in this one, you blunted me moving up the right flank. I did that little probing force with the move fire move. I just wanted to get some stuff into the woods myself, and then you immediately countered by bringing your warriors very effectively all the way down. Jeez Louise. You took out a heavy legion, which was really
Yeah,
unfortunate.
and if you had not moved that one cavalry to the left, I would have charged out of the woods and charged that cavalry.
Yeah, and I had that mounted charge there early on. I think it was maybe the first, or I think that's the first card draw that I got after the move fire move. And I was ready. I was just like, hold, waiting for you to get just right, but I was not going to waste it on charging against stuff in the woods. So I was trying to get you to come down a little bit. I was baiting you a little bit with the heavies. And you brought the warriors down, and I thought, this is their moment. And what did they do? Not so much. They whiffed.
Well, I started with that Clash of Shields card, so I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be the perfect setup." And then he kind of moved some guys back out. I was like, "Oh well, I'm not gonna get," but still, it didn't really do all that much in the end. But
but the sheer amount you had, I think 5 units highlighted.
5 blocks, and
it was +2 on each of them. Even the lowly cavalry, that was a sight to behold. So that was probably the most effective use of that card I've ever seen. Because that's what I did. I got into close combat, and you were ready for it. I feel a little icky, a little dirty after this scenario, just with the historic nature of it, what it represents, and the massive amount of human suffering. Not only for the battle itself, the warriors took it. I mean, the fighters took it, but all of the casualties from what we see there with the trying to escape the battlefield and everyone with the no quarter from the Romans. I don't know. I guess they wanted to simulate it. It's certainly not my favorite scenario. Just between that and the poor showing that I did in the first game. So we will just leave it at that, and we will move forward on to next week's episode, where I will be doing the research for that. So come on back. If you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. We're glad to see you here, and I'm glad you've gotten a first-hand accounting of my middling dice rolling capabilities. Take a moment to click that like and subscribe button if you've not subscribed. A thumbs up would be awesome. The notification bell, any kind of engagement, really. We just want to hear from you. And if you have comments or corrections on this particular video, or if you would have given suggestions from your own playing, feel free to put those down there in the comments. I ask you that every week. You'll get used to it. You could just tune it out otherwise. Oh, and I'm showing you our current supporters right now. Thank you to everyone who is contributing monetarily to the channel.
Yes, thanks.
Yes, we don't expect it, but we certainly appreciate it. Come on back next time. Peter, thanks for the great games tonight, and I will see you next week.
All right. Have a good night.
You too.